Sheikh Al Thani skipped town after this brush with the law in Beverly Hills. The sheikh owns the Ferrari and Porsche, but denied being at the wheel during this drag race and then tried to claim diplomatic immunity.
Get out.
Do you have any?
Get out. None of your business.
In 2017, the sheikh was back in Beverly Hills, 2 Americans now working for him. Matthew Pittard, a former U.S. Marine, as the sheikh's director of security in the U.S.
He was in the States and wanted me to come work as his head of security.
And later, Matthew Allende, a paramedic who lives in Los Angeles, hired, he says in the lawsuit, to provide round-the-clock emergency medical care.
Incredible amounts of wealth, to the point of obscene.
The men say the sheikh and his entourage of about 50 people lived for a time at the famed Beverly Wilshire Hotel. Pittard says he took this photo of the sheikh on the Beverly Wilshire's balcony. The men say the playboy billionaire and member of the Qatari royal family spent much of his time in Southern California indulging his passions: fast cars and guns. That's the sheikh and Pittard at a shooting range outside of L.A. And that's the sheikh firing a rifle back in Qatar in a video for the sheikh's defense contracting company. There were guns, Pittard and Allende say, everywhere.
There's a video that actually shows myself and the guns laid out in the living room. Literally, I think in that video, the servants are cleaning around them.
In the lawsuit, Pittard says the sheikh asked him to kill 2 people here in Los Angeles. First, a man who claimed to have compromising information about the sheikh.
He told me to go take care of this. And I said, well, how do you want me to take care of it? And he said, use a gun, use a knife, I don't care, go take care of it.
And then a female friend of the sheikh's wife, who he suspected had revealed his location to an enemy of the royal family.
He said, you need to take her out to the desert and pop, pop, put 2 behind her ear and bury her in the desert.
Pittard says he refused to carry out the alleged hits. Despite their growing alarm, Pittard and Allende both flew back to Qatar with the sheikh. Paramedic Allende says he took this photo on board the sheikh's private jet. In Qatar's capital city of Doha, the sheikh and his entourage, including Pittard and Allende, lived at this palace. There were trips into the desert, more guns, and of course, fast cars. The sheikh seen here owns his own racing team and garages full of exotic cars.
Yeah, it's pretty wild.
But the men say the hours were punishing. In the lawsuit, Allende describes working 3 weeks straight and a 36-hour sleepless binge by the sheikh. Allende claims the sheikh then granted him a rare day off and permission to leave the palace, only to change his mind.
He has a guard there that's armed. He said, Sheikh changed his mind, you're not leaving. I started yelling, I am an American. You cannot keep me against my will.
Allende claims he scaled a palace wall and tried to escape, jumping about 18 feet to the ground.
Fell to the ground, rolling around in pain. The Amiri guard, they jumped on top of me and went ahead and dragged me back inside, closed the gate, threw me back into my bed.
Allende underwent surgery and provided Eyewitness News with these photos.
Now I have 10 screws and a metal stencil holding my heel together.
Allende spent 2 months recuperating at the palace before returning to the U.S.
I started to think, are they going to kill me in the middle of the night? Am I going to just disappear off the face of the planet?
The people who are in the ruling family in Qatar really don't play by any rules.
Longtime senior CIA operative Daryl Blocker says the Qatari royals rule with an iron fist and a net worth believed to be in the billions.
The amount of wealth that the ruling family of Qatar happens is probably equivalent to the largest jackpot in lotto history.
According to the lawsuit, the sheikh threatened Pittard's life after he helped a third American, a Los Angeles man and USC graduate, escape the sheikh's palace.
He again tried to leave the palace, forced back in at gunpoint.
With help from the U.S. Embassy in Qatar, Pittard says he helped the third American flee the country.
Sheikh Khalid called me on my cell phone. He said, you backstabbing piece of I'm kill you and bury you in the desert and kill your family.
Petard and Allende are both now back in the U.S., but still fear for their lives.
I've checked my vehicle for explosives. I've checked my vehicle for listening devices.
I think the likelihood of their phones being hacked is almost 100%.
You just don't know what extent they'll go to try and silence people.
Hello, I'm Mark Brown. Click the ABC7 logo to subscribe to our Eyewitness News YouTube channel.